Right, welcome gamers. We are playing Distant Worlds 2. This is episode 5, and I've let the game run on for a couple more months, just until we have Yogar Priltok coming back from his mission to steal the fusion ignition from the astute Quamino Order, which is this group back over through here, which are going to be having a heap of tech that they'll sort of be designing over the course of the game. And as long as we can just keep on stealing it, then that's fantastic. So we've actually now picked up this particular anyway, we've picked up the fusion ignition research, which gives us like the Nova core reactor, which is enormously powerful. So we're going to now just go and redesign everything. So this is now we can basically dismiss that message. I'll just see if we can get him out doing something else again. We've got assassination, concealment, and espionage. Is now sort of all of his skills are coming back up. The other one is we don't know what he can do just yet, but he is going off and trying to pick up the territory map of the Formalsa systems, the Tekans back in through here. This will be useful. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find I'll be at war with them because they're going to be fairly aggressive. I think that they are still aggressive. Actually, where is it? In here. Actually, they're both pretty friendly at the moment. Okay. We do actually have our guy. We've sent our ambassador across to deal with them. This one actually does have a lot of stuff. This one's lawful. Actually adds a lot to wherever he is. Trade income, tourism income, espionage is up. Counter espionage is up as well. So he's actually not bad even to have it back at home with what he's got. But I'll leave him there. The espionage is going to make it just that little bit easier for us to then go and steal things from the Tekans. They've been fairly closed off to us in terms of spying, and so we're putting the ambassador here. It should open up a little bit, and eventually what I want to be doing is finding out as much information as I can about both these factions, and then sort of making targets. But I think that the initial target that we're going to go for is, and I've been trying to, we haven't come across the pirates. They've been very, very quiet since that first visit into our system so long ago. We still end up sometimes with our friendly group coming back through. We haven't found any of their locations at all. We've come across them, but not actually, we don't know where they actually are. Now these guys will ultimately get to a point where they will offer us an actual what is it am I trying to say? A treaty. So they'll offer us a treaty, which means we won't be having to spend the money, and that should be happening fairly soon, I would think. I don't think I can actually bring that one forward. Yeah, the non-aggression treaty. They will eventually do it. It's just that we've got to keep on buying more things from them, giving them more money, and then eventually they'll become almost a partner of ours, which will be good to have them actually as a partner. Right. Well, there's a lot in this system over here where there's just a lot to search through. I'm still looking for more polymer, and even if it's inside either of these territories, I'll take it because I can go to war and then get a mining station anywhere I like. At the moment, the only polymer we now have 3 sources, and these are just in the capitals. So back in through here, there's a good chance that this will be their actual homeworld. No, it's not actually. This is a carbonaceous moon. But they've actually got a hell of a lot of polymer there. So that's it would mean us going to war with them, with the Quamino. They've actually got 2 worlds in here. Well, there you go. So they've actually picked up a second world at that location. And then the other one that we have, the other polymer world, is back over in through here, which is also just an ocean world, which has got a fairly slow rate in through there. Our guy is just in here at the moment, just exploring through. But we'll eventually steal all of the research, all of the maps of these. That's going to be coming in just a few more months' time with our spy. So he's off doing this one. We'll just go back with Yogar. Go back to the Quamino and just see if there's anything else that would be of use to them. Yeah, there's not really, this is all nothing we have to then go and do. If we go back to the Formalsa Systems Megacorp and steal research information, now these are a lot harder. I would like to get the heavy iron weapons, but these are much more closed off to us than the Quamino actually are. So I might go back to the Quamino, just where it's relatively easy for us. So I'll still research information, or I don't do anything. Actually, no, I will do this. I'll just keep on getting... I'll try to make it so that we end up being able to always steal stuff from these guys, because they're going to be able to get through their tech tree faster than us. Effective diplomacy, let's just go. We've got basic diplomacy at 91%. Let's just start there and try to make it easier for us. So we'll just go that way. Oh, hang on, I didn't actually select it. I always forget to just say, yep, go ahead. The back end. Actually, the galaxy maps of these would be good. Let's go that way, just so we can see if there's any other polymer. And the territory map as well will be okay here as well, up the other side, just to see if they've got other polymer. Then that would be very useful. We do actually have also, just at this time, just to cover where we are, we do have Amnesia 3, which is actually a 27 suitability. So this is actually not too bad. And I do want to take over Klatuni 3 as well. To get this one, I really am going to need to get like a bit of an invasion force together. So I think that'll be our next mission, will be to sort of do that one. But now that we've picked up that other, that reactor, it really does, it's a game changer for us, because it now means we can really sort of not have to worry too much about the amount of space that's on our ships. And I'll show you what I mean. If we go back into the ships that we have overridden, which is and I'll leave the spaceports where they actually are. Where are we with the assault transport? Yeah, I've got the assault transport back up here. It won't make much of a difference in here, but if we just go across and upgrade, what will then happen is it's still got the fission reactors, because this is still where we sort of were, but we can now ditch these. And if we have a bit of a look at what's going on down the bottom here, get rid of a fission reactor, it then sort of gets rid of one lot of energy, get rid of the second one, and if I then just go back to the Nova core, in fact, if we just go back up, I wish it was defaulting to this. I wish this would remember, so I've just started the game back up again. So if we go back into you've got the Nova core reactor, which is actually, the fission reactor is size 22. This one's size 18, but it's double the capacity almost of the other reactor. It's so much better. If I go and click on that one of those fulfills the job of two of the other. And so we save a heap of space. So we're going to end up with like a lot more space on the ship, which means we can then look at other things that we didn't do on this particular design. Like, for example, do we want to go and add in another engine? Like 62 is slowish, but that's something we could do if we wanted to. We could change the iron cannons out for something else if we wanted to as well. We could throw more armor back in, or even probably shielding with what we actually have. We could sort of throw a second shield on top. That would work. That would still be within the areas. So this is the sort of stuff we can now do with this reactor. It really does open up and allow us to completely change what we have with our ship. Everything else I'm actually pretty happy with. I could have also, in fact, I've got enough. That's still got 11 left over, which means I can go back up and get more fuel cells. So I can throw another fuel cell in there. And so that will then give me, so we're now up to 499 out of 500. And so just by getting that one reactor has, like, our speed has gone down slightly, but the actual fuel range now is 800 M. This is really, really big. And so that's going to allow us like a great range. So let's go and save and exit this one, the Assault Transport version 3. So we're now getting that one. And I'm thinking we're going to probably need to now get a normal troop transport as well. So we've got the assault transport, and I think we're just going to need to get a transport. So this one here, we want to make sure that this one is always still active. Now we don't actually have any version 3s. We're going to have to upgrade what we've got. Let's just go and do the other one first. This is going to be where it's going to make the biggest impact. It's going to be the beam heavy escort, and we will. What have we got there? We've got these. Yep, so we've got 8 of these. We'll just go and upgrade. Again, they've got the fission reactor. Now this one here, we're a little bit off with what we've done. Look, so we did have a bit of space. Yeah, but not enough. We only had 8. So fission reactor goes, replace that with a Nova core. So we've got heaps of energy now on the actual ship itself, and we have a heap of space. So we can't really add anything to the bottom of this, but we can just now add in more things back into through here. So again, the fuel cell, need to get another fuel cell in there. That gets us up to a range of 600, which is heaps. So that's going to allow us to get out and about very, very well. Now the other thing is, what else should we throw in here? We've just got one more general slot. And we can put anything we like in here. I mean, we could have even other assault pods if we wanted to. Or do we change the weaponry that we actually have? That's the other option. Not that we've really got anything there. I'm sort of happy enough with the Maxos Blaster. Or this, it's sorry, not the tractor beam, but the Maxos Blaster is the one that we do like. 28. I mean, I can change it if I wanted to. I certainly have the space on it now. I'll have a bit of a think about this. Yeah, look, there really isn't anything else. So just throw a fuel cell in there. That's pretty much all. The only thing that's sort of. That we don't need anything, to be honest, on this one. It was, but it's handy having that Nova core reactor. It's a very, very good unit to steal early on, if you can, from the Cormino. We'll save and exit this one since the Beam Heavy Escort version 3. We've still got aggressive. That's fine. 2050, save and exit. All right, that one's out of there. Now, it may even be that we actually now look at the frigates and start to sort of think about other designs there as well. I might have a quick look at this and just see if there's any other. The fact that we're going to have to go after the enemy fleets, it may sort of now open up the frigates to even be another really powerful way of doing this one. So let's just go and quickly edit the frigate itself and just see what we can do there. Now, one thing we do actually have is the ability to have a small hive hangar on these with just 4 fighter capacity. What it would mean also is that we then need to bring in heaps of them. Like we'd need to have like a swarm of these as well. And I might just think again about what sort of role we would like this ship to actually have. Yeah, look, the ship is really it is ultimately a better ship than the heavy escort. We don't have to keep the small hive hangar. This is probably a bit of one of these things that doesn't really matter one way or another. We're going to need a lot of these in a fleet for those hive ships, those little the fighter beta really sort of kick in with only 4 fighters in each of the actual ships. We're going to need a lot of ships in this particular one, but let's actually work around that. Maybe we sort of do start to look at bringing in like groups of small ships. Now, what do we do with them? If we keep them as standoff, we might sort of work backwards. Let's just get rid of the fission reactors because we won't need both of those. We'll throw on the Nova core. So put that one in there. Now we don't have a real lot of space on this one, but this is fine. So we don't have very many general slots, but just getting that Nova core reactor in there is going to save us a lot of, going to give us a lot more options later on. So we'll make this one more of a heavy hitting ship, particularly if it's sort of part of an attack fleet or something. So we might even sort of build a different type of fleet around this type of ship. If we go with the engines, we can see there, this will be very, very slow at sprint 60. Let's just go and grab another Proton engine, throw that one on. So that almost sort of, that gives us a free engine just by going with the Nova core reactor anyway. Just have a look and see how we're going with the size. Yeah, so we don't have too much more size we can do. I really don't think I need the concussion missiles. These quite often, if you've got like a hangar ship, like a ship that's actually bringing in fighter craft, that will then be something where you're wanting to keep distance, but we don't need to. We've actually got some pretty good stuff down through here as well with our deflection, with our shielding and with the armor. We've got 3 of those, so that's much more than the heavy escort. We've got 2 of these as well, 2 of these sensors, and I do want to pick them up. Let's just go down and get the swarm targeting as one of the sensors, and then also we can't get target tracking because these are basically technically the same type. If we have a look at the actual overall, like you can see that we've got targeting of plus 25%. If I go to the target tracking system and throw that one in there, it doesn't change this because this is the same essentially the same system, but not one of our special racial ones, so no point having that. But the countermeasure system is a good one to actually add in, so we'll throw that one in. Now we're going to be over in our weight now, so the weight now has gone over. The small hive hanger is size 24. Sorry, size 25. We do actually have other things we can then do in through here. So we could have even, with what we've got at the moment, we've got the sprint speed of now 72, so this now becomes our fastest ship. But I think what we'll do is we'll actually have it so that the hanger and the small craft with this ship this ship goes in with them to actually then sort of do other damage. So I'm thinking we start to go back away from the Thuon beams again and just go back into torpedoes and just go back to like a torpedo style of ship. It's not going to be great against the Quamino, but the Quamino probably would just stick to themselves anyway. So it's mainly going to be the Tekans, and I think that this will work out fairly well. Let's get rid of the concussion missile. We do actually have a small, at the back end there, we've just got a small mount there, and we've got a multi-beam defense on the back of the ship, which is not fantastic. Thuon beam on the side, I'll just ditch that one through there, and we'll just go down. The Epsilon torpedoes are size 30. So if we go and throw them in the middle, I'm really going to need to get another Sentinel multi-beam at the back there. Now this is still, yeah, we're right on the limits there with nothing else happening. And I'm probably better off having the multi-beam defense on the front. So we'll just go for the Sentinel up the front here. And really that's all we can really squeeze on this thing. Like we're now at maximum size, and this one's coming in with 2 torpedoes, a Sentinel beam, and then the hive hanger as well. And so, yeah, this would still mean we need to bring swarms in. I would love to have... What's our range? Yeah, 500 is a good range. This is actually a good range. We could even ditch another one of the fuel cells. Get it down to, well, 250 is still not bad. I should actually show you how to calculate this. Hopefully at some point soonish there'll be measurement tools in the game which will then just help to be able to plan and plot what's going on. Even a grid system would be so useful in the game just to get an idea. If we got rid of that fuel cell, we still don't get much else really. I can't squeeze another Sentinel beam. I think we're better off just going back in with a fuel cell there. So we'll go and throw that one back in. So swarm targeting, countermeasure system, small hive hanger is good. Yep, 2 armor, 1 shield. So it's a bit more powerful than the other ships. Bit faster than the other ships as well. And we are right on the limit. So we'll call this one a torpedo frigate. There we are. And this one also will then be set to aggressive and aggressive, along with 2050, so it'll retreat at 2050, save and exit. So we now actually have a new design as well. Now, what's the polymer cost on these? Fairly high. Yeah, unfortunately, the polymer is just used on everything. Like 3 polymer there. I mean, one thing we could have a look at is just try to find the resource that this one uses Necros stone. The Thuon beams, what do they use? Krypton. Railguns use carbonite. Yeah, look, anyway, I think it's going to be fine with what we actually have there. So that's okay. We'll just save and exit that one. And this one we need to set this one back to manual as well. Now with the small spaceport, this is now going to change as well. So we'll start to ramp this up, and because we can now also, at the moment we're manually retrofitting the small spaceport, this particular version of it. So I'll go to, where is our micro spaceport as well? Yeah, I'll leave that one off, but let's just go across into here. This is our bigger version. And so we'll just go and upgrade this one. So this will be an SSP4. Again, we'll just go back down. We've got the fission reactors. How many did it need? 2. All right, so we'll replace that with the Nova Core. That's still not enough though, actually, so there must have been another one somewhere else as well. That certainly is more than enough. And yeah, we're close to the limits there actually, so there's not much else we can really do with that one. I wonder if we were beyond the limits, like outside the limits of where we were. We've got the torpedoes. Actually, maybe we were. Maybe it was sort of one of these things where it just wasn't really quite helpful. Although we just did an upgrade. Yeah, that's okay. I'll leave that where that is. And we don't have any other fission, do we? Nope, that's okay. That's all right. Really not much else we can put there. Yeah, there's nothing else. I've only got 8 more slots and nothing else will really go in the 8. Yeah, no, that's fine. I've only got the 1 shield. No, 2 shields. That should still be enough. We've got heaps of armour. If we need to squeeze other things in, we could always do it at the expense of armour. Just remove a lot of the armour from this thing, which I'm always thinking we don't need that much armour. In fact, if I get rid of one of the armour, I can then go and put another shield generator in there. And that's still within the limits. So we end up with 3 shields and then a heap of armour as well. This is very, very strong. Like extremely strong. We don't have any target tracking or countermeasures. I think that's okay. Look, let's just save and exit this one. All right, so that will be done. Now this one has been set. The retrofit is now back to automatic again. I think I'll just leave it that way. Yeah, that should all be fine. So that will be the next retrofit for that one as well. Okay, let's exit out of here. And I'm sort of all over the place today. All right, so now we will just need to get on top of our polymer. Actually, the polymer's 2000 now. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, look, if that's the case, the polymer is only coming from this one location here. And there's not much left over there. So that means that we've got like a heap back at our capital now. So if we go back to the actual, to the resources that are in here, we've actually nearly got 1,000 polymers, which is fantastic. So we can actually now start. I'm going to have to build another ship. I need to now build a transport ship so we can then do the invasion of the Ketarov world. And so we'll prepare for that one. To get around that, one thing I'm just going to do is come back across to my defense fleets, because I do want the assault transports to always be active in here. So we'll just go and edit this one and just change it from latest design for the small troop transport, because I'm now going to have to use 2 different designs of this one. I'm just going to change this one to the assault transport version 3. So that will be the type of ship that we then have on this particular fleet. So the escorts, yeah, along with that one, that would be fine. So we will save that. We'll just close that one off. So that will be the new defense fleet template, even though it's not going to change what we've actually got there. Let's go now to an invasion fleet, and we'll just go and change this one. Actually, before we do that, we will go back in and we will now go and add new. So we're going to add a new small troop transport, and we're going to auto generate the new design using the ship hull. Now it's going to come through. It's probably going to use the. Did it use the? It did use the Nova Core. Great. So it actually built with the Nova Core right away. So everything has been sort of added into here. Now it's put in 2 troop transports, 2 assault pods. How are we going with space? We've got 7 space left over. It's only got 2 engines. So I'm going to ditch one of the assault pods because I don't need that. That gives me 17 left over now to be able to play with. It's got a small Thuon beam. Let's ditch that as well. And let's go and place another engine in, another proton engine, just to get the speed up. So it can, when it comes in to do the invasion, it can at least maneuver. Now that leaves us with 9. I don't have any weaponry that can actually sort of work with this. So I'll ditch an armor just so we at least have some sort of protection. And then the protection that I'll use for this one, 15 there for a small, I've only got like small mounts on top of the ship here. Not much else I can put in through here. Okay. Maybe just a torpedo on that mount there. Small torpedo. That will do us, I guess. We've got the short-range sensor array. It doesn't really matter much. That will sort of do. It just as a general sort of sensor on the actual ship itself. And we've got 3 fuel cells. What's the range on this? Yeah, very, very long range. I probably don't need that much fuel cells on it, but look, I'll keep it there because sometimes you do need to have these things go and sit out in space for extended periods. So let's go and change this one. This will be the troop transporter. The other thing we could have done would be to add more troop compartments, but they're quite big. Yeah, they're 50, so they're maximum size. So we've got 2 of them on board anyway. That's all good. Just double check yep, everything is good with the energy. There's 4 recommendations. Okay, top speed is lower than average. That's okay. Maneuvering rate is slower. That's okay. There should have adequate number of assault pods to launch invasion troops. At a minimum, there should be as many oh, okay, we do need that one in there then in that case. I didn't realise that the assault pods were actually how the troops got onto the planet. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't realise that. So we need to place one of them back in there, which means we really can't have the that torpedo. It leaves us with 11, which means I can at least put a sentinel beam on, which is size 11. So we've got a sentinel beam on top. That gets us up to 500. Now we want these to be attack stance against weaker targets. I mean, it's going to be neutral and then cautious. That's fine where that actually is. Retreat when. Now it's got when shields are below 50%, but I've only got 1 shield on it though. I think I'm going to go with these sorts of ships. I'll go shields below 20 and armor below 50 again. I'm tempted to go even the next one down, any non-defense components that are damaged, but let's actually leave it this way here. So we'll just go that side. We'll save and exit. And so we now have a troop transport and an assault transport. So we've now got 2 of the same design in the actual game itself. Now if we go back out again to our fleet management and go to the invasion fleet and just go to edit, we're going to get rid of the frigates and destroyers, and I'm just going to leave these ones just for themselves. And I don't need a lot of them, maybe 4 will be enough to sort of do the little invasions that we want to be doing initially. And this one is going to be the troop transports. So we're now very specific with what type of ship we're using in the fleets. And this is sort of fairly newish to the game. This was before the Discovery update, but it is important. Fleet engagement range, yeah, nearby is fine for this. So nearby is basically just anything in the actual proximity of the actual ship itself. You know, could even have just engage when attacked, but I'll go with nearby. It's the lowest range out from the actual ship itself. This is all good stuff, so we'll actually just leave that one through there. So the invasion fleets, we will be wanting to build another one of these, so we might start now actually. If we just go back across with that one selected, invasion fleet, build new invasion fleet at DAS Hive Spaceport, done. And that was enough polymer to actually go and build all 4 of these. So we'll let that one sort of go forward. Now the spaceport should retrofit as well. Let's just go and start that one as well. So it's now under construction. So the retrofit will come from the homeworld. So it's actually now building that one in space. And this one is still building these other troop transports. All right, now back on the planet, we have a fair few troops now available that have been built and still building away. So this is good stuff. All right, well, we'll let that one go for a little bit longer, and I'll pause the recording and we'll come back when we've got these things built. I think I might just do a bit of a talk about what's actually, well, not a talk, but I'll go through what we've got in here now. What we've got on our home world, Das Hive, is our maximum population is basically 6 billion that we can sort of have on this particular planet. And our actual rate is now really, really high, like 7% growth rate is great. So that's sort of, they're thumping along at a really, really good rate. Our money situation is fantastic. So the more population we have, the more they pay tax. Our corruption losses are very, very high, unfortunately. So we do need to try to peg that one back. But we will once we get this thing done. It's still 10 years away. But if we can just capture some high-level ships, we'll then be able to do that one much, much faster. Other things we actually have with this is we have back in here under the Empire tab. God, I'm so tongue-tied today. Then we've got the funding levels, and we do actually have a lot of extra funds. So we're actually pushing a lot into our colony growth, which is fine. And this is the AI is just handling this fund for us. And when we've got leftover funds, this is where the cash flow being positive is really great. We can then invest more heavily back into these amounts. Now, there's no point. It will actually always go, okay, what's the maximum research that we can pump into this one? And it's not that much. Like 768 is the maximum. There's no point going any more than that. So all the rest of all the funds go into colony growth, which then pushes our growth rate right up. Which is so important, but we've still got nearly 3.5 billion, so we've still got a fair way to go. Still another 2 billion worth of population growth that we can do, but at 7%, that will, and this is like a long range sort of aspect of the game. What we're going to do though is we are going to go and also try to colonize one of the other worlds. So if we just go back across into, we've got Amanalisa, which is this planet back in through here, which I would love to get, because that will then give us more expansion. Now, if we try to build this one, we probably don't have enough money to actually build the ship. But probably only just now, we've probably only just got enough. Like if I go back to the home world again, I don't know if I've got enough to actually construct one of these. Let's have a look and see. Now, the big colony ships, these are monstrously big ships. These are built from the planet, not from the spaceport. So if I go to the spaceport, I don't actually have I can't actually build one of those type of ships. So you can see we've got everything we can actually build in through there. What we'll do is we'll come back across into here and go to the build new ships, and we've got resorts and researchers. It should be, there we go. We can build a small colony ship. It's 48,000 to build one of these. So we can actually go and colonize that world. And so we'll go and do that. So it was back over here, was it? No, it wasn't that one. That one. All right, so we'll just go and tell this one to be to colonize this. So we'll now queue that one for colonization. That will then go off and start the colonization. You can see there that it does, it's wanting essentially for us to get the Ketarovs under control. And so that will be our first priority as well. So we'll just start this expansion now into space. And what we should do, hang on. So Yidor Narsil has been dismissed due to poor skills and general incompetence. Okay, now he actually just failed in his mission. He had failed to try to get the territory map of the Tikans. So that was I thought he was okay, but anyway, he's not good enough for us. For the Gizureans, let's just get rid of that one for a second. Now we've got the invasion fleet being built. So if we just go back across, just cycle through the fleets, make this one Control 3. So once this one is set up, we'll then pick up the troops, and then we'll go after the Ketarov world. And we can start to clone more just basic troops as well. So these are getting there. Other things, I might just speed up time here a little bit, is we should start to plan for, in fact, how much have we got now in terms of polymer? Yeah, we've still got a fair bit there just floating around. Look, in this case, we no longer have any shortages with our construction resources. So I'm going to go and build up an invasion fleet. So we'll just do the same thing in here. Just come back across, get our fleet rolls. Sorry, not an invasion, an attack fleet. And this will be using predominantly the big frigates. So we'll just go and edit this. And we will leave a couple of fuel tankers. Look, I'll leave them there. No carriers, no battleships because we don't have them. Cruisers, don't have destroyers. 18 frigates would be awesome, but 10 will do. So we'll start with 10. We'll just have one fuel tanker in amongst the actual, in amongst the group. So that will then be pretty much, we'll use this for excursions and for sort of sending things out. We'll probably end up using our defense fleets like this as well. But this will be great. Actually, with the frigate, did I put a targeting one in there? I'll just, before I do anything else there, I don't know if I actually set that one up correctly. The actual design. I can't remember putting the target, the hive targeting on that particular ship. So that was the torpedo frigate. Yeah, I did. Swarm targeting countermeasures, that's right. All right, cancel that one. That's fine. So the torpedo frigate, and so if we just go back into here again, this will be the invasion fleet, sorry, attack fleet, edit. And this is such a better way of doing all of this sort of stuff. Now, this will be the latest design for the hull frigate. Again, I can be very specific, but this will be okay. Now, the fleet engagement range, 50% of fuel range is practically anywhere. So let's just go with, at this stage, sector range, which is still big. Like that's 100 M essentially, as from what I understand. I was going to show you how to actually calculate the size as well, so you can sort of figure out, okay, how far are these sort of distances. This will also be worked on, I think. This is so complex or unknown because we don't actually have measuring tools. So I really hope at some stage we get them sooner rather than later. Now this one's going to retreat when the enemy strength is 50% greater than ours. That's okay. That's okay. We'll contend with that. And these will be here pretty much for destruction. Now the build cost is up there. We'll let this one finish off its build, and then we'll start to build these. Now, in terms of what we've got, if we have a look at one of our ships, for example, if I go and grab one of these beam heavy escorts and have a look at the actual design of it, we'll then sort of see what we're interested in is the jump range of the ship. So the jump range is 140 M. So this is actually where we can actually then figure out what's going on. So with a jump range of 140 M, that is this dotted line. So that's 140, just to give you a bit of a feel for it from that location. So 100 is around about in here. So we're not quite able to pick up the home welds. So they're probably going to be close to 100, but you know, that's sort of where we can then sort of calculate how far off different sorts of things are. So if we've got a fuel range, our fuel range is way out to here, which is great. So it does give us the ability to operate at long distance, and that's important. So, but anyway, that's the jump range. So 100 M, just to get a bit of a feel for it, is going to be close to where the home welds are, but it looks like it's going to be just slightly on the inside. You know, it'll be very close. Not that it really matters that much, but that's just one way of just trying to get a bit of a feel for the distances. I don't know why we don't have any scout ships that have gone out this way. This is quite important, actually. I might even just grab one if there's one that's close by. Oh, they're all over here now. I've got this guy in here, and I don't mind him doing what he's doing. Let's go and see if we can find another one. Do we have one that's floating around? I don't know if any of them have come back in for retrofits. That's the colonizing ship. Got one here at Zerolast, which is retrofitting. Okay. Well, we'll follow this one in. There's more coming back in as well, and so then we'll just give one of them the orders to go out this other side. Good. So the troop transports are now complete. Let's go and finish off this attack. So we'll just go across now, get the third fleet, and tell them to pick up troops. So load troops at Das Hive. So So they'll now come back in. They've picked up all they can. These are still under construction. So they've got 50,000 troops out of 100,000. So we've got 4 armour, 2 infantry. That will be enough. And down we go to the Ketarov world. So we'll just do this invasion here. And we will attack. That's going to impact our reputation. People will not want to deal with us much, but that's just the way it goes. Colony ship is now completed. We'll accept that trade. These don't have enough troops on board. They've got no troops, but they will actually have a local population. You can see in they come. So they're protecting with what they have. Okay, they've declared war on us now because of this attack. They've done more work on the way that the... actually, where are we? Just grab this one here as well. So we actually now have more than enough to contend with just the local population of Ketarovs. So when we come back... Hang on, they're neutral. Wait, I thought there was a war. Were they at war with each other? Oh, that is. Okay, I thought they declared war on us. Okay, they're at war with each other. That's interesting. So hopefully they will hurt each other. But there has been work, I think, on how the on the AI, basically with their response to your reputation. You can see our reputation goes way down now. It's now negative 21. But that's who we are. And we've nearly got them. We've lost one of our infantry group. Now I'm going to keep them on the ground here. This actually now opens things up for us to do a lot of other different sorts of things. So the colony has now been conquered. We can dismiss that one. So now we actually have a new event. And so this is the scouring. With our recent conquest of the colony Klatui 3, we can choose whether to implement the scouring. The scouring, this new acquired colony, will grant us an extra tech from this conquest. Some of the existing population will be consumed, providing food to temporarily boost population growth for Gizureans throughout our empire. Our diligent efforts to scour the planet will also no doubt reveal any hidden resource caches that they actually have. Scouring will also lower colony happiness for 2 years and dramatically reduce the development level of the colony. It will also harm our reputation with other factions should we implement the scouring at our new colony of Klatui 3. Now, in one sense, the Ketarovs, I mean, we don't have any assimilation at this point in time. Yeah, we'll certainly reduce the development level. The development is only 23 anyway. I think that we will scour this one. I think. It's sort of one of these ones where it's a 50-50 because it ultimately could be a useful planet and we don't really need to be boosting our population growth anywhere else. But look, we are playing as a Gizureans. This one I did want to actually end up with these guys as fully assimilated, but let's start off with scouring and then eventually over time they will start to come good. Now we do actually have enough protection here to be able to stave off a rebellion. So let's scour the colony. So this one here again, some of the existing population will be consumed, and we do then hopefully get our tech. There we go. Now we've got this one actually gave us 2. This is awesome. So a tech acquired in a conquest. So during our recent conquest of Klatui, we got the research breakthrough in improved missiles, and we also picked up heavy, fast and fleet frigates. This will be a bit of a game changer as well. It means we can go back to our frigate design now and have a look to see what that is, what we can do with that, and maybe replace the existing frigates. We haven't started to build that attack fleet yet, so we might go back that way and sort of start there again, and redesign that. So we can dismiss that one. We also now have the concussion missile version 2. So we've picked up that one as well, and then the tech. We've got 2 techs out of that particular one. We didn't get anything with our planetary governance, which is still actually okay. So this one here has lost a bit of the population. Again, they're not going to be very happy with what's going on. We do actually have forces on the ground. What we're going to need to do here, though, is to pick up many more troops in here. So we are building more troops, but we need more. So we've got the now that one there is just the infantry. This is the clone of the infantry. So we're just going to go and smash out a heap of these as garrisons. Now we've actually chewed up all of our money. Nothing much else we can do with that one. And so just to finish this one off, I think what I will do is actually have a quick look at the... I'll go through... Actually, I might do it in the next episode. We'll figure out what sort of a frigate we actually should be using as an actual invasion, not invasion, as an assault fleet mainstay. Anyway, I'll do that in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I will catch you then.